I haven't done a cooking for one video in quite a while, but that's all I'm doing these days during this time of pandemic. I'm cooking for one, and I did some research on YouTube. I saw some videos for shrimp scampi, and the videos all had pasta in them, and that's what I thought shrimp scampi was, shrimp with pasta. Well, I did some research in my encyclopedias, my food encyclopedias. Turns out scampi is an Italian word. That's the plural form. The singular form is scampo, and it just simply refers to the tail end of a shrimp or a lobster. If the seafood is sold whole, it's langoustine. And I came up with a recipe that I like for a really simple shrimp scampi, and I'm going to make my own pasta. I actually have pasta dough that I made earlier today, but you can use dry pasta. So let's make this simple, easy to make, and quick shrimp scampi. I have 4 really large shrimp here. I don't think these are jumbos, but certainly large. And these are tail on, which require a little more work, which I'll explain. The last segment of the shell is still in place, along with the tail bit. And that creates a problem, because they devein these shrimps, but they don't devein that last section because the shell is on there. So you have to open that up and look inside. And what you see in there is the end of what they call the vein. But let's face it, that's the bottom end of the intestine. That's what that is. So you have to clean that out, because you know what's in the very end of an intestine. It's nothing to sniff at. So you clean that out. Do that for all 4 shrimp. Let's see what this one looks like. Sometimes they're clean and sometimes they're not. Again, I can see stuff in there. This one is even dirtier than the other one. So get all that cleaned out, because you don't want that in your dish. Got a paper towel to clean my hands. So you see what I'm doing here. Got my other 2 cleaned up, and then I'll continue my prep with the shrimp. One thing I also like to do when I'm working with large shrimp like this is, using a very sharp knife, I like to cut right down through the center of the shrimp the long way and divide it into 2 halves like that. And the reason why is those will curl up nicely when they cook to make kind of a more of a bite-sized nugget of shrimp, and because they curl up so nicely, they'll hold more of the sauce. Think of like fusilli pasta, curly pasta that has the curl to it to hold sauce. Made some pasta dough earlier, and this is enough for like 1 big portion. I'm going to cut this in half. You can use dry pasta. Per serving, they typically say 1 to 2 ounces. 2 ounces is a nice average serving. I would say use 1 3/4 ounces or 50 grams of dry pasta. Could be spaghetti, linguine, vermicelli, because there's going to be shrimp added to it. So you can use a little less. My pasta machine is set up. I attached my linguine cutter to this. I'm starting at the lowest setting, number 1. Flour this a little bit just to help it to go through the machine. Go to number 2, 3, and I'm not going to go any further than 4, because linguine is a little bit on the thick side. Okay. And then what I'm going to do with this, because this makes rather a long linguine, I'm going to cut it in half. Switch over to my linguine cutter. And make sure that goes through straight. And there is my linguine. All right. Flour that lightly so that it doesn't stick together. Do the other one. Linguine. Returning momentarily to my shrimp. I'm going to put some salt on my shrimp. Just lightly season it with salt and a little bit of black pepper. I prefer to go light with the seasoning when working with shrimp because it has such a delicate flavor. I don't want to overdo it. Then I got to wash my hands. I've got about a tablespoon or so of olive oil heating in a small skillet. I'm going to put a little bit more in there, I think. To which I'm going to add some butter. And if you can hear some sizzling, that's because in the back I've got some vegetables sauteing. My butter looks like it's hot, so I'm going to put in the pan a little bit of minced garlic. About like so. Stir that in. I'm going to put my shrimp in there. Get that distributed. And then I have a little mixture of herbs here that I'm going to use in a moment. But first I'm going to get my shrimp cooking. This will cook very quickly. Like a minute on each side. Again, because I cut these in half down the middle. Look how they curl up when they cook. I'm going to flip these over and give them maybe another 30 seconds. And then I've got a clean pan here. I'm going to take these out of the pan for the time being. Into this pan, I'm going to put a little bit of, I don't have any dry white wine, so I'm going to use some vermouth. Maybe a couple of tablespoons there. Turn my heat down. Add my herbs. Get that in there. I'm putting my pasta in my boiling water. Got a little ladle here, and I'm going to put a little bit of my pasta water in there, like a ladle at a time. And what that'll do is that'll actually start to emulsify with that oil. And it'll give me a thickened sauce. Do that 2 or 3 times as desired. I'm going to turn the heat off under that liquid and put the shrimp back in. Get all the goody stuff out and just let that shrimp warm up in that sauce. My pasta is just about done. It's been in there for about a minute, minute and a half. That's all it takes to cook fresh pasta. By the way, the herb mixture was just a small dash each of oregano flakes, dry basil flakes, and dry marjoram flakes. I'm going to also put just a few drops of lemon juice in there, part of that little bit of lemon juice, and then I'm going to put my linguine in there. Done with that. Get this stirred around, get that pasta nicely coated. Oh, that is looking so nice. It's got a nice shine to it. Put this on my plate. Gonna get kind of the pasta to go down first, and then I can put the shrimp on top to look nice. Here are my sauteed vegetables. Put those on the plate. Going to use the rest of this lemon juice on the vegetables. Give those a nice flavor. And then to finish my pasta, I'm going to dress it lightly, just garnish it with some shredded Romano cheese. And that was pretty quick and simple to make. In fact, if you buy dry pasta, you can probably cook most of this during the time, or all of it really, during the time that the pasta is cooking. That looks wonderful. Gonna get a bit of my pasta on my fork here. And then pick up one of my shrimp. I'm so hungry. It's early, yet it's not quite dinner time. It's only about 20 after 4, but that's okay. That is so good. And I didn't need to season that afterwards. It's perfect. I'm gonna get some of my vegetables here. I love mixed vegetables. Crisp, tender. So, excuse me, I'm going to go enjoy an early dinner of shrimp scampi.